Hey guys, welcome to another episode of First Time Recipes. Stick around, I'm going to show you how I cooked this for the first time. We've got some kung-pao chicken, some white rice, and a yummy cold Asian asparagus salad with pecans. So we're making an Asian asparagus salad with pecans, but the trick is this has to marinate for 24 hours, so we're going to do that first. So according to the recipe, I need a medium saucepan to bring water to a boil. That seems a little small for asparagus. There we go. It doesn't say how much, so I'm just going to fill it. I'm using hot water and my son's in the shower right now. He's probably going to get cold. Okay. Now, just set that on high and we're going to bring it to a boil. While it's starting to boil, we need to mix all of our recipe stuff. So I got green onions, pecans, salt and pepper, rice vinegar, soy sauce, and vegetable oil. I got to put all that in a bag and mix it around, and then after that we throw our cooked asparagus in there. So I got to go find a cutting board. Knives. How much am I supposed to do here? Looks like tablespoons, half cups, quarter cups, plastic bag. Go back in here. Uh-oh. I'm out of big plastic bags. My wife's trying to tell me where they're at, but they're not in here. All I've got are quarts. I don't think those are going to work. So maybe we'll have to improvise. Yep. This just had simple skinny pop in it, so I'm going to pour this out. I'm going to use this. What am I going to put it in? I'm going to put it in this. My wife was already eating popcorn out of it, so let's go in there. Okay, so it said I needed 2 pounds of asparagus, and that's what this bag is. Wash it first, I guess. Okay. Well, that's all done. Need to cut off the bottom so they'll actually fit in the bag. All those out of the way. The recipe's getting wet. I need a quarter cup of rice vinegar, a quarter cup of soy sauce, quarter cup's over here. My wife's got 3 sets of these cups half the time. I don't know which ones to use. Quarter cup of rice vinegar. Like this. Whew. Hope that tastes good because it doesn't smell good. Soy sauce. Quarter cup of that too. vegetable oils. My son's watching me cook, giving me a weird face. He says because that looks nasty. Oh, what is this? This is not a half cup. What am I doing? I need tablespoons. I just about screwed that up. Where'd they go? Oh. Tablespoons. 2 tablespoons. Just like that. And then the half cup is for chopped pecans. But the pecans don't go in there until tomorrow when it actually gets served. You sprinkle it on the top. Same with the green onions. So I don't have to chop those up today either. I can do that when everything else happens. So we'll just mix this, wait for the water to boil. After the water boils, we're going to add sugar and salt and pepper to this after we get that cooked. Cool. Okay, so asparagus has been boiling for about 5 to 7 minutes. It says until cooked and tender, so you can see it's still crispy, but it's also floppy, if that's the same thing. Asparagus smells so good. Weird how a vegetable that smells so good when it's cooking smells really bad when you pee. Fun fact. Now we're going to take this out. I'm just going to set it down on the cutting board. I don't know if it'll melt the bag, but I don't feel like taking a chance right off the bat. So I'm going to let it cool a couple seconds. And then in our marinade, we still need to add salt and pepper. It says to taste, and I like salt and pepper, so I'm going to add a little. Just like that. Shake in some salt. And it says 2 teaspoons of sugar. And if I'm moving too fast on the ingredient measurements, don't worry about it. I'm going to have all of the recipes and ingredients in a link in the description below. So you guys can go check that out. Just going to mix it a little bit. And we should be able to start putting our asparagus in there. And stop right where you're doing. I forgot to cold shock the vegetables before I put them in the bag, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. You want to run it under some nice cold water, get it cold shocked to make sure all the steam is gone and it's nice and cold before you put it in the bag. Super careful. I'm going to put one aside because I'm going to eat it. After we get it all in the bag, we're going to seal it. Mix that marinade around on it and make sure it's all evenly covered. Just like that. It's going to be evenly covered, and it says put it in the fridge for 24 hours. So when we start to make our meal tomorrow, we'll take it out and get the pecans put on there, and it'll be good to go with our kung-pao chicken. We're going to be starting our kung-pao chicken. I've got 3 thawed chicken breasts right here. It says about 1.5 pounds on the recipe, so I'm going to cut all that fat off. I'm going to butterfly them, and then I'm going to chop it up. Like that. And then butterfly them, cut them in half. And then we're going to chop it up like that. Just in cubed like chunks. And we're going to do that for all 3 of them. So you just repeat those same steps, get rid of all the fat and tendon and all that gunk for all 3 of them. Okay, now we're gonna make the marinade for the chicken that we've cut up. We've got white wine, soy sauce, sesame oil. I used curry paste. It says use hot chili paste, but I couldn't find any, so I figured that's the next best thing. White vinegar, cornstarch, brown sugar, and garlic, and peanuts. So we're gonna go through and start making the marinade right now because the chicken has to be marinated for 30 minutes while we wait for everything else to go. So we'll do that first. We need tablespoons, tablespoon. Looks like pretty much a tablespoon of everything. So I'll get a tablespoon. One tablespoon. Do a tablespoon of the cooking wine. Tablespoon of that. Tablespoon of soy sauce. Okay. It's got one of those funky lids. Take a while. Okay. Tablespoon of soy sauce. Tablespoon of sesame oil. And tablespoon of, it says cornstarch water mixture. So I need to dissolve that in something first. I have to do cornstarch and water. Got another one of these. Rinse that out. Two tablespoons of water, and then you'll do two tablespoons of cornstarch. Dry that off. Open up the cornstarch. Do 2 tablespoons of that. Explosion. Out of my hand. That's okay. And we'll mix that. Look at that. The cornstarch is dissolved in the water. Easy peasy. Then we mix this together in here with this. Okay, that's all mixed. Going to put my gloves back on, or put new gloves on. I threw the other gloves away from when I was cutting. And then we're gonna pour this over top the chicken. And we're gonna mix it together. Just make sure all the chicken is nice and evenly coated on it. And we're gonna let it sit. Just like that. Take off these gloves. Oh. Take off these gloves, and I'm gonna grab some saran wrap. Cover it like this. And then it's going to sit in the fridge for 30 minutes. Just like that. Set the timer for 30 minutes. Then we're going to make our sauce next. Okay, now we're going to start making our sauce that we're going to heat up that will combine with the chicken eventually. So we're going to chop up our 4 green onions first, get that out of the way. chop off the ends that have all that gunk on them. Just going to chop it up. Small pieces. Some of this is going to be for the sauce for the kung-pao chicken, and some of it's going to be for the topping I sprinkle on top of that, those asparagus that we made last night with the pecans. Oh, these ones make me cry too, apparently. Okay, we'll leave those on the side, and then in a small bowl, basically combine the same ingredients you made for the marinade. A tablespoon of wine, a tablespoon of soy sauce, that, tablespoon of sesame oil. Whoa. Another tablespoon of the cornstarch water mixture. And it says an ounce of that paste. That spoon is small. Okay, we get our big, rather. Get a different spoon. My wife's trying not to laugh. I don't know why. I'm probably doing something wrong. Paste in there. Like I said, it's a 4-ounce thing, so I just took about a quarter of it out. And no real way to measure that for me. We need vinegar, so a teaspoon. That was a half a teaspoon. I need to go find a teaspoon. I guess we'll just use a half a teaspoon. Couldn't find a regular teaspoon, so instead of getting that one dirty, we'll use the one we already did. Vinegar, 1 teaspoon of that, so I'm using a half a teaspoon thing here, so fill that up twice. 1, 2, oops. That was a little much. And 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, so 4 of the half teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Mix all that together, and then we're going to add our garlic, which is a tablespoon of the chopped garlic, and we're going to toss in those green onions in there, making sure to keep some out for the other one. And it says tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic. Whew! Oh! Sorry, I'm not a big garlic fan, so it's going to be new for me, but as soon as you open that up, no. Feet. Oh dear. And so I'm trying to catch my breath. Yeah, and then it says add green onions, so we're going to leave some aside for the pecans. We're going to throw these in there like that. And then it says we need, toss those in there. It says we need 4 ounces. That's 16. We need 4 ounces of chopped peanuts. I'm going to say that's about 4 ounces, just a guess. It looks about as much as would fit in that little thing right there. Okay, that's chopped good enough. I don't even care. Put that in there. That's what it says to do. Put that in there again and mix it all up. Okay. Now it says we're going to heat that in a medium skillet. We'll start doing that when our timer goes up for the chicken. Now we're gonna get our chicken out. It's been 30 minutes. Get our chicken out of there. Says we need 2 skillets. And I'm gonna cook a side of white rice with this too, so I'm gonna need a small pot. Says we need a large and a small. So we're gonna start heating this one up. Probably put it on medium to medium high heat. Let that simmer a little bit. And put a little bit, not that oil, a little bit of oil in there. Itty bitty. It's already marinated in a sauce, so we don't have to put a bunch in there. That'll just help it not stick. We're gonna dump our sauce in the medium skillet. So in this one. Get it all out of there. Just like that. Spread it around, keep that there for there. I need a small bowl, or pot. I just use that one for the rice. And get water. For just instant white rice, you just have the same amount of cups of rice as you do with the water. So we do 2 cups of rice. So we do 2 cups of water. Pour that in there. Turn on the sauce on low heat for now. We'll start boiling that water in the back. I put a little bit of salt and pepper in the water. And some butter. I usually do about a tablespoon of the butter. Ooh, just about flung the knife somewhere. That knife is dull. I probably could have cut that better with a butter knife. I gotta sharpen that one. And let that start boiling. My wife's having a hard time following me. And now that that's starting to heat up, we'll pour the chicken in here. Got a clinger hanging on. Break it up a little bit. And I'm going to need a stronger spatula. I'll use this one. Much better. And it says you're supposed to cook it on here until the juices run clear. Put a little bit of salt and pepper on there. Like that. And then we'll just stir this off and on while it's heated on low heat. We'll turn it up a little bit higher once we get our chicken done and get it in there and get it start mixing around in there. Smells good. Okay, my water started boiling for the rice a little sooner than usual. So with the instant rice, you're just going to dump it in there, mix it up for a couple seconds like that, turn it off, put the lid on, and switch it to a burner that wasn't on. And then it'll just fluff naturally. Keep stirring your chicken, make sure it cooks evenly, stirring that every once in a while so you're not getting burned peanuts or green onions or anything like that. Okay, we went ahead and got our asparagus, marinated asparagus out of the fridge. I'm gonna grab a little dish. Got these ones in here. That should be, we'll get the bigger one. And then what we do is Yeah, and you put this in a dish like this. I've got the bag of green onions we had left over from the chopped ones for the sauce there. And we have a half cup of chopped pecans. Pecans, I don't know. Some people say it differently. I'm gonna put it in that bag and shake it. And then we'll just sprinkle it. Just like that. And get a nice pretty shot of it, just like that. That is called Asian asparagus salad with pecans. Put more than 1.5 pounds of chicken in here. So I'm probably not going to use all of it. I'm going to get most of it in here and stir it around and see how much I can coat it. Yeah, I think I probably put about 2 pounds of chicken in there because this seems like it's coating it just perfect. And it's hitting all the pieces. I'm getting a good even spread on there. So you just mix it in there. It says you're supposed to simmer it until the sauce is thick, but since I cooked it a little bit longer before I put it in there, the sauce was already thick, so I don't think we have to do that. So I think we're ready to serve it. Take that off the rice and get a fork here and fluff up the rice, get it loosened up a little bit. And then we're going to get some form of serving spoon here. Grab a plate. I'm gonna get a mini spoon, scoop that dressing out of there. Once we get some of that out. So I'll take some of this salad out first. Dip this spoon in there, get some of that dressing. Marinade. Just like that. Get a scoop of white rice on here. Turn off all the stove pieces. Now we're going to get some of that kung-pao chicken out of there on top of the rice. And get it out of the sun so you can see it a little better. There's kung-pao chicken, white rice, and Asian asparagus with pecan salad. Okay guys, that was a good kung-pao chicken with that asparagus Asian. You can tell family liked it. Pretty much everything is gone. So stay tuned next week for another episode of First Time Recipes, where it's the first time, every time.